Hi, this week in Module 9, you have experience and observations in birth through grade 12 educational settings. Now, I know some of you will be able to go into classrooms and complete this observation, while others of you will have to choose a video because you do not have access. Either is fine. If you look on your assignment, these are some sample documents, but you're not limited to using those documents. If you have an observation form that is more convenient for you to use, please attach it with your assignment. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to arrange to have at least 2 hours of time where you can observe. So look at number 7. For this assignment, you will use a running record of the teacher for approximately 30 minutes. This is where you observe the teacher's behavior, what the teacher does to facilitate instruction or whatever you're observing. Then you will keep two different frequency counts of 30 minutes each. So, in other words, you're doing a time sampling into two 30-minute blocks of what you observe. And when you're doing a time sampling, I would suggest that you write what you observe every 5 to 10 minutes because that way you don't miss anything. But that is just a suggestion. You will then be asked to provide a reflection on your philosophy of teaching and education and this is going to come into another assignment. So this is part of multi-level assignment that you're going to be doing. So finally, you're going to write a few short, notice I say a few short paragraphs reflecting on your observation, including the following information. So read these questions when you're trying to do your observation. These writing assignment guidelines open in another window. Make sure that you follow the formatting requirements. Here's the grading criteria. Your completed logs, you get 10 points. And so this is how it breaks down. So remember, you're going to have a log for where you observe the teacher, and then you're going to have one that is broken down into two 30-minute sections where you are looking at the kids, what they're learning. You're doing your time sampling. And this all occurs in this one observation. So if you get a video online, you need to have a class that you can look at for at least an hour at a minimum to observe. Make sure your observations are written in factual terms. Only what you observe, not what you believe, what your emotions, or what the teacher should be doing. You are a researcher, so facts only. So you get 20 points when you include your running record, 20 points for the frequency counts. So what happens? So say for instance, you are looking to see a teacher who is doing a literacy lesson and you want to see how often the kids engage or are able to answer correctly. You state that's what you're observing and you keep a running record of that and the number of kids who are able to master that. Your frequency count will be how often they're able to do that. So, your recording strategy of your time sampling would include all of this information. Your reflection is 20 points. So, now the running record also, and I think this is where some of the confusion comes in, is for the student part. Your frequency count also would be maybe for the teacher part. So as long as you decide which order you want to do that in, I'm fine with that. But I want to know that you have observed what the teacher is doing for a 30-minute period. And so that would be a good one to keep a running record. The frequency count would be a good one to use for the students. I want to show you real quickly, and I hope this will show up in mine, this video. If not, it is on study.com and you just do time sampling.
Kim is a psychologist that has been tasked with evaluating an after school literacy program for middle school children. One of the things Kim would like to examine is how often the children read while attending the program. Kim reasons that the best way to collect this data is by directly observing the after school program. Though there are several different methods Kim could use to observe and record her data, she ultimately chooses time sampling. Time sampling is a method of collecting data or information in which you watch research participants for a specific amount of time and record whether or not a particular behavior or activity took place. Kim decided that she would observe the program for 2 hours at a time each day for a month. She broke each 2 hour session down into 15-minute intervals. After Kim defined the specific reading behavior that she's looking for, she then created a boxed sheet that she can use to record whether or not reading, the behavior she is observing, occurs. Kim also brought along a timer so that she can know when each interval begins and ends. Now that Kim has decided to use time sampling, she must next determine which approach to use. There are three different methods of time sampling: whole interval recording, partial interval recording, and momentary time sampling. If Kim is interested in observing whether the children read for the entire 15-minute interval, then she would use the whole interval recording. As the name suggests, whole interval recording involves looking.
So you can see, if you're a student, you can register for this. I don't think that it is something that you would have to pay for, but it gives you an idea. And just look up time sampling and just know that there are different ways that you can do this. Don't want this to be too cumbersome or too confusing. Just remember, if you're doing a time sample, and you're doing 2 30-minute blocks, you can break those up into 15 minutes. And then just make sure you tell me what you are looking for during this. Please email me if you have any additional questions, and hope you learn a lot from your observations.